types of a unit cell. Here we are classifying the unit cell. Unit cell, we know that it is the smallest repeating unit which keeps on repeating again and again and produces a complete crystal lattice. So depending on how we get a unit cell, then we get a unit cell by joining the particles of the different layer. So when we join the unit cell, so depending on when we join those particles, we get a unit cell, and depending upon the position of particles, particle means, again I will say, that means atom, molecule or ions, depending upon which type of solid it is. So depending on the position of the particles, here the unit cell has been classified. So unit cell has been classified into different categories. The first one is a simple unit cell. Simple unit cell, which is also known as primitive unit cell. Primitive unit cell. The second is centered unit cell. So simple unit cell or the centered unit. Simple unit cell, that is a unit cell where the particles are present only on the corner. This is the unit cell where the particles are present only on the corner of the unit cell. While in case of centered unit cell, the particles are present on the corner as well as particles are present somewhere, as well as it is present somewhere also, somewhere also, that is like in a body of the unit cell. So only on the corner. Here, in addition to the corner, particles are present in a body also, that is called as a center unit cell. So depending upon the position where the particles can be present in a body, center unit cell is again classified into 3 more categories. So before this, let's say simple unit cell. The simple unit cell, as I said, the particles present only on the corner. So in case of simple unit cell, so simple unit cell where the particles are present only on the corner. So this is the unit cell. These are the particles the particles are represented by the dot. So these are the particles which are present on the corner. As I said, center unit cell is again classified. It is classified into different categories depending on where the particles can be present. First one is body center unit cell. Next is face centered unit cell, and finally the third type is end centered unit cell. Body centered unit cell. What happens in case of this body centered unit cell? The body centered unit cell is the one where the particles are present on the corner. As I said, in all the cases the particles are present on a corner. In case of body centered, the particles are present on the corner, that is on 8 corners which is present in a unit cell, as well as there is a one particle which is present somewhere else also. So there is a one more particle which is exactly present at the center of the unit cell, exactly present at the center of the cube, I can say, which is at the same distance from each corner, and the particle which is present at the center, it touches to all the corner particles. So I'm just drawing this dotted line represent that the touching of this center particle from the corner particle. So here this particle which is present at the corner, it touches to all the particle which is the particle which is present at the center touches to all the particles which are present on the corner, that is on 8 corner. The next we have the face centered unit cell. The face centered unit cell is the one where the particles are present on the corner, So this is face centered where the particles are present on the corner. In addition to the corner, the particles are present at the center of the faces. That's why the name is face center. Now in case of a unit cell, like if I have this cubic unit cell, then I can say that here we have total 8 corners and 6 faces. 6 faces, that is a top, bottom, left, right face and back and front face. So we have total 6 faces and the particles are present at these 6 faces also. These are the particles which are present. Top, bottom को face corner, left, right corner, back face center, at the face center of the back face, and this is the front face center. So front face center. Now, in this case, it has been observed that the particles which are present on the corner, they touches all the particles. The particle which is present at each face center, they touches to all the particles which are present on the corner of the same face. For example, suppose if I have this particle present at the face center, so it touches all the particles which are present on the corner of same face. Same face means this is upper face, these are the 4 corners of the upper face. So it touches to all the particles of these 4 corner faces. Right face, so this touches to the particle which are present here. Similarly in this is bottom face. Here. Back face. And for the front face, this is the corner, this is the particle of the front face. So it will join to the corners of the front face. So this is the face centered unit cell where the particles are present on the corner as well as at the center of each faces. Now end center. What is end center? Then here I can say that this is the unit cell. End center, this is the unit cell, I can say, in which the particles are again present on the corner. The particles, in all the cases, the particles are present on the corner. As well as in this case, the particles are present at the center of any 2 opposite faces. Those 2 opposite face may be top, bottom, maybe left, right, or it may be front and back face of the unit cell. So here let I'm saying that here the particles that are present on any 2 opposite face, that is the top, bottom. In case of face center, the particles are present at the center of each faces, but in case of end center, it is present only at any 2 opposite faces. But since again the particle is present at the center of the face, so it will touch to the particles present at the corners. The same thing here. So this is about the face end centered unit cell, where the particles are present on the corner as well as any 2 opposite faces. So we have overall total 4 types of unit cell. The first one is a simple or primitive unit cell where the particles are present on the corner. Centered unit cell, body centered unit cell where the particles are present on the corner as well as at the center of the body. Face centered unit cell where the particles are present on the corner as well as at the center of each faces. Here the particle present at a body center touches to all the corner particles, means this particle is in a contact with all. I had already told you that the particles which are present here, those particles are nothing but the spherical shaped particles. These spherical shaped particles are in a contact with each other, means this structure is somewhere like here. If I'm drawing these 2 circles, suppose, then it is something like this. Actually these 2 particles are like this, and this is the line which join the centers of these 2 particles. So actually the lines are smaller and the particles are bigger in size. So the particle present on corner touches each other. Here the particle which is present at the center touches to all other 8 particles. Each face center particle touches to the corner particles of the same face, and end center any 2 opposite faces. And The particle again at a face center touches to the corner particles of the same face. Now let's see the same thing with the help of animation. In animation, you can see that the first I'm talking about the primitive cell. In primitive cell, you can see that in the unit cell there are the 8 particles. It's a 3-dimensional, so you can see all the sides, all the corners in a 3-dimensional unit cell where the particles are present on a corner. Now let's see here in this case how those spheres are actually present. In this sphere, you can see that there are total 8 spheres. On joining these 8 spheres, we get a simple unit cell. Now in these 8 spheres, in case of this animation, you can see that if I'm joining those 8 spheres, on joining these 8 spheres, we are getting a simple unit cell. In a second animation, you can simply see that the balls are bigger in size while the lines are smaller in size. So this is about the simple unit cell. Now let's talk about the body-centered unit cell. Body-centered unit cell, again in the first animation you can see that the particles are present on the corner as well as at the body center, and as I said, the particle which is exactly present at the body center means it is at the same distance from each and every corners. Now let's see it's a full actual structure or actual arrangement of the body center. In this diagram you can see that there are the 8 particles which are present on the 8 corners, and there is a one ball or one sphere or one particle which is present exactly between these 8 spheres. So the particle which is present between 8 spheres is nothing but the particle present at the center of the body. Now let's join all the particle center. So on joining the particle center, you can see that the particle which was present at the center exactly present between the unit cell, and the particle which is present at the center touches to all the corner particles. So this is about the body centered unit cell. Now let's talk about the face centered unit cell. Face centered unit cell, again in the diagram you can see that particles are present on the corner as well as there is a particle which is present at each faces. Every face you can see from all the sides, every faces the particles are present at every face center, that is top, bottom, left, right and front and back face. Now in the case of face centered unit cell, here we can see that the particles present at every face center touches to all the particles which are present at the corners. Now in case of end centered unit cell, the particles are present on every corners as well as the particles are present at every opposite faces. Like this we have the animation, and the particle which is present at the opposite face in the animation second, you can see that the particle which is present on the opposite faces, they touches to the particle which are present on the same face corners. So this is about the 4 types of a unit cell which we are having, that is a simple unit cell, body centered, face centered and end centered unit cell.